Hello and welcome back to another episode of Civilization Reborn. I know it's been a while since the last one, almost 3 weeks. Oopsies, my bad, gang. Today we'll be focusing on good old-fashioned Europe, and the reason why we're not going to America is because lore-wise they're still dealing with the plague. This is gonna be like 1,000 years of death or whatever. So we're going to continue focusing on Europe, and you may be asking, why are we not focusing on Asia? It looks like Asia looks like it has a bunch of potential for stuff to happen. And to that I say, we're going to start with the Greeks invading their neighbors. The Greeks feel threatened by the Neapolitans, and they also want to get stronger and have more power in the area. So the Greeks are going to invade these purple guys up here. They're pretty weak compared to the Greeks, and well, they want that land. So they start the invasion. Their troops cross over the border. They instantly capture this city over here. Then they move up along this side and capture this city over here, and then go up here and capture that city as well. So almost immediately, their troops are basically in the outskirts of the capital. The purple guys, they are fighting really fiercely, very hard around the capital, but all the while, Greek troops up here capture many more cities, and then eventually the whole thing falls, the capital falls, and bam, no more a little Serbian country. And the peace treaty for this is going to be complete and total annexation. The Romans see this and they're like, maybe we should have some more influence over the Balkan region. So what they're going to do is they're going to invade the Croatian guys. Their armies cross over, they instantly capture 3 cities, and wouldn't you know it, their armies are right there, right at the capital. They send their troops around this way, capture a city, and encircle the capital, and then go out and send their army and capture all these major cities, eventually taking the entirety of this country, and then capital surrenders, and wow. As well as completely taking over the Croatian country, they also claim land over here in, I think, Austria or Slovenia or Hungary or one of those countries that are near here. And this kind of pisses off the Greeks because, they kind of wanted to rival the Romans in the Balkan region. But now the Romans are kind of in the Balkan region. They're not too happy about this. So in response, the Greeks are going to invade these pink Romanian dudes over here. They declare war on them, and then their armies move over their borders, and they instantly take this major city over here. They then also move upwards and take this major city over here, and then this one over here. And then their armies start to push inwards and fight these pink Romanians. The pink Romanians, they're not as weak as their neighbors over here, but they're still pretty weak compared to the Greeks. So they are putting up a fierce fight, but it's not fierce enough to fend off from the Greeks. And another major city falls, and they get closer and closer to their capital. Eventually, they take these cities over here, and then the capital falls, and then they move the rest of their troops over here. And once again, it's going to be complete annexation. Not only do they have visions of rivaling their neighbors, the Neapolitans, they also kind of want to be stronger than them by a wide margin. So they are going to invade these green guys over here. And yeah, it's kind of the easy sweep. They instantly take this city over here. They reach the coastline, go up and take this city. More troops move in through this way. They capture 2 more cities and capture this city over here. Troops move in, and once you know it, bam, capital's gone. And wouldn't you look at that, complete and total annexation. Once again, the Greeks are not done in their conquest of the Balkan region. They still have another target up on their hit list, and it's going to be these guys over here, these like Turkish guys. So the Greeks are going to declare war on them and invade them. Their troops move across the border like that. Wow. Capture some cities. Wow. And then some other troops over here move in down the coastline and capture a few major cities. And then they go and cut off the capital from this area, meaning making it way easier for them to invade. So not only were the Greeks just invading their neighbors, they're also doing a little bit of genocide, as you may call it. They've been kind of erasing their neighbors' religions, like when they invaded these guys a long time ago. They're kind of gone now, and they're doing the same thing to all their neighbors around here. They're kind of just getting rid of them a little, and by a little I mean a lot. They're killing millions of people, or well, yeah, millions to hundreds of thousands of people. They're Greekifying them, which isn't too good. That's not cool of you, Greece. I'll remember this, Greece, and I think everyone watching this will too. So let's focus back on this war. The Greeks are eventually able to kick the 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 Istanbul people out of here, as well as kicking them out. They also kind of kill everyone. Now they're right on the doorstep of their capital. Greece is going to do is this little funny thing called a naval invasion. They're going to land a bunch of troops right over here, and instantly they capture the city. They then march northwards and capture more coastline and cities. And then, once you know it, Turkish people, the Greeks are on your door, and it's kind of not looking good for you. They can't really spare any troops up here for the defensive down here because they don't want to lose their capital. So the Greeks are just going to continue pushing in and taking land until eventually they take all of this land, and then eventually, well, the capital falls. So yeah, not too good of a day to be a neighbor of the Greeks. And complete annexation follows, as is the usual for the Greeks. So now we move away from the Greeks and into the land of the Iberians. The Iberians, they're like, oh wow, that's quite a bit of land up north. And, well, we can't really go south into Africa, so let's go northwards. So they are going to take a bunch of land in northern France. They're going to be like, oh cool, bunch of land in northern France. How amazing. And after a few years of exploration, their borders look like this. Now, this kind of pisses off the Neapolitans a little because, well, they kind of wanted to invade or to claim land in this new area, in this newly discovered land over here. And now they can't really do that. So what they're going to do is they're going to man up and cross the Alps and then take a little bit more land in southern Germany / eastern France. So yeah, after about maybe 5 years of exploration and setting up settlements, the Neapolitans are able to claim all this up here. And in an effort to explore more of all this stuff over here, the Neapolitans and the Iberians are going to send some scouts over into Germany, into the German area, and up into Denmark. They're like, oh wow, a peninsula and some islands. And then the Greeks are going to send some scouts up here because they don't want to miss out on new discoveries. Same with these Crimean dudes. And they are going to send some scouts up into Eastern Europe. They're going to discover Poland. They're going to be like, wow, this place is so nice. I love this place. And then the Crimeans, and they're going to explore Russia, and they're going to be like, wow, this place sucks. And now with the new discoveries, some new countries are going to pop up, such as the Danes, the Dutch, the Polish, and some Germans. They're going to have a few cities, as well as a few capitals. And now we look over to these Dutch people for like a hot second, because a few fishing boats are going to blow off course, and they are going to discover England, which instantly everyone's mood becomes way, 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 way worse. And so, with the new discovery of the English Isles, the Iberians and the Dutch are going to send some scouts up here, and they're going to be like, wow, this place really sucks. The scouts are able to discover this much of England / southern Wales. You might think that there's going to be some settlers up here, but you'd be wrong because this place sucks ass. And so instead we focus on these Danish people who are going to have some boats go over this way and discover Sweden. And then now everyone's mood improves greatly after the horrid discovery of England. And now we go back down to the Greeks for a little bit. They're going to also claim a little bit of land in this new open space down over here. They end up claiming about that much land, and they're like, wow, I think we're stronger than the Neapolitans. I don't think we're strong enough. And what are they going to do? Well, they're going to invade their neighbors as usual. Who are they going to invade this time? Well, of course, the Crimeans. So they declare war on the Crimeans, and the invasion starts, and they instantly capture a city, and then maybe another city, and then they go around the coast and capture another city. And the Crimeans are like, whoa, what the freak is going on? We didn't sign up for this. And the Greeks are like, well, too freaking bad, man, and continue invading their country. Now, the Crimeans, they're decently strong. They've been around for quite a while, a couple hundred years, meaning they're kind of strong, but they're not strong enough against the Greeks, although they kind of do push them back a little. But not by much. And the Greeks, they continue invading, they push them back, and then they capture another city, and then they go over here and capture another city, and then they go over here and capture another city, before threatening the capital. So the Crimeans are kind of scared about the Greeks' rapid advancements. So what they're going to do is they're going to call a bunch of their military-age men from a bunch of the cities, and they are going to throw them at the Greeks, which is kind of effective. they're able to capture these two cities and move along the coast, and they're eventually able to take or recapture this city over here. And the Greeks, being the Greeks and having all of this population, they're gonna just call up some more people and then eventually take back this city, and then take back this city, and then continue invading, and then take this city. The Crimeans, though, they're going to push back a little. We're going to go and eventually recapture over here. And then they're also going to recapture these two cities down here. But the Crimeans are like, I don't think we're going to be able to kick the Greeks out of our country. So I think the best course of action here is to just give them some land to make them go away. And the Greeks are like, okay, yeah, we'll do that. So let's look at that peace treaty that they signed. So this is the peace treaty that the Greeks and the Crimeans are able to agree to. The Crimeans cede this much land over to the Greeks, which is a big blow to them and a huge win for the Greeks, because now they are really, really large. Like, they're probably the strongest force in Europe. This scares the Neapolitans because, well, look at that. They're quite larger than the Neapolitans. They have a bunch more population, and they're quite stronger than them. So what are the Neapolitans going to do about this? Well, they're going to take some land in Africa. They send some scouts down into the Sahara Desert, and they find that it is quite the inhospitable, uninhabitable wasteland. So they're like, wow, okay, I guess we're not going south, but they are going to take a little bit more land, and this is about all the land they managed to take before going south becomes, well, a death sentence. The Iberians, they look at this, they see what the Neapolitans are doing, and they're like, huh, what if we did that too? So they send some scouts into Morocco, and they're like, wow, this is kind of cool. And then they go a little south, and they're like, oh, wow, that's kind of cool. And they're also going to claim a little land. And by a little land, I mean basically all of Morocco. As you can see, there's a little bit of a power struggle going on over who has the most influence and strength over the European continent. As you can probably tell, it's between the Greeks, the Neapolitans, and the Iberians. And tensions are brewing high between these three. The Greeks and the Neapolitans, they're kind of angry at each other. The Neapolitans and the Iberians, they're angry at each other. So basically, it's just the Greeks and the Iberians hating on the Neapolitans, and the Neapolitans hating the Iberians and the Greeks. So that is going to be all for today's episode. I know it's a bit short, but I kind of wanted to just get an episode out, so I don't know, I don't lose any more subscribers than I've lost so far. But yeah, hope you enjoyed today's episode. Like, comment, and subscribe. I am going to attempt to get 500 by the end of the year. We have a few months left. Don't think it's possible. So I think I might just change it to 450 by the end of the year. But yeah, that's all for today. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.